Okay. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is up in their glory on this Thursday of August the, I forgot, 11th, 10th, whatever. I'm forgetting the days since I haven't been to work a couple of days. Um, so how you doing? I'm just gonna come briefly with you this morning. I know I was supposed to come back with you last night, but I got caught up in time and busy with things I was doing, so I wasn't able to come back with you on my discussion about the Alabama brawl. Okay, the Alabama, slam that I called it. Oh boy, I just couldn't stop talking about it. I was just doing a lot more research about it because it was brought to my attention on Monday. I was kind of slow getting to it because I really didn't know much about it. A friend of mine, she was telling me about it. She asked me, "Did I watch it?" And did I know anything about it? And I said, "No." I could have got on it earlier, but I just didn't know about it. And I know about it Monday, but I just had to do my research and to see more footage of the videos that took place of the brawl. Okay, and the part about the young man that jumped in the river to go save his elder, to also go there to help in defense of his elder, and the man that had the white metal, card chair that he took and slammed that woman over her head with it. Now let me say, now that's the topic now, because people are saying he should not have hit her with that chair because that right there can bring some kind of assault charges against him or whatever. And I feel that man don't need to be punished for it because that woman was a part of it. She participated in the violence with the other thugs that were attacking the captain, and she was also putting her hands on some of the men that were there until she was down. And this man at that point, he didn't care who the hell he was swinging at, because he was just like, yo, y'all coming for me, y'all gonna get this smoke. So anyway, he used whatever, he can at that time to defend himself against a mob of white, racist thugs. Okay, white racist thugs. And I'm going to say this, even though I don't really support violence, but sometimes when it comes to being attacks against our people, especially when we're innocently um, just out doing our jobs, and all of a sudden these white, people approach you and come for you or whatever. And it's always that we got to be held accountable for our actions. And there's always this thing about, oh, well, we could have took a different approach. They even try to teach that to our children. And that's why I'm dealing with the situation I'm dealing with. And if you've been following me about my job situation that took place this last June, in the month of June, right before the children did they move up service, and I worked so hard for that program, and I wasn't able to be there to enjoy seeing those children make their next step in their, educational, achievements. So, it kind of really put me in a place where I wanted to do some things. Okay. And I try to hold on to the word of God, and I hold on to my, thank God for the love of my family and my husband, who have been encouraging me, who's been supporting me all throughout this whole entire situation. And I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I wish I was on that boat, because I sure, on that dock, not the boat, but the dock. Okay. Because the brawl took place on the dock. I sure would have slammed a couple of them in their head with a chair my damn self. And I'm going to just keep it real, because this is how PTSD is so in us from what we had experienced through the history of America. Okay. And even through Christianity, like, I'm saying, like, even having a portrait of a white Jesus to be the savior of the world, you know what I'm saying? Making them the superior race. And even though you don't want to be racist, you don't want to say racial things, but it is what it is. In the world that you living in, and when you see it and you living in it and you experiencing it, you have to speak it from what you know and what you felt and what you have experienced. And racism is alive and still alive today. And it's always going to be alive. We are living in a modern day slavery type of racism. They canceling you, even if you speak the truth on things that you might have experienced or whatever, and you come on social media, you speak about it, looking at you just to hear your conversation so they can have a reason to come for you. to still try to silence you, that you can't speak on this and you can't say that and blah 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 blah. And they try to make up these rules and these laws, but it don't stand for everybody. It only stand for us. And that's why they do it. Even if they have to send your own people out to come for you. And that's how they set it up. Because see, the thing is that the man that was attacked on the dock, he was the co-captain. They don't even want to give respect on that man's title of his position. He was the co-captain. He wasn't no staff like, the security or whatever they said he was. He was the co-captain. That was his job, to go out and to approach these people and tell them they had to move their boat, and they refused to do it. And then, being that they refused, that the first thing they did was to refuse to do it. Secondly, they put their hands on him. One of the guys just came and just jumped on him out of nowhere, flew over there, put his hands on that man. The 60-something-year-old man, from what I understand, he's in his age is 60-something years old. And only God knows what that could have caused on his health or whatever. And I'm saying like this, black people, we got to get out of that mindset of being so waiting on God and all that. We got to pray for people, whatever, whatever. These people have been doing evil for time throughout history, throughout the American history story. But every time it's something that is in the benefit of us, they try to hide it, especially to hide the truth. And we got to stop being like that. I'm sorry, but I read my Bible and I am a Christian and I believe in doing good, being a good person to people. And I believe in doing right for others. But that turn the other cheek don't rock with me. It just don't. It just don't. I try not to hate on all white people, because I know there are good white people out there and who have been a part of our history that helped us through the Underground Railroad and everything else like that, to help get us, some of us, free and believe in us as human beings as well, and stuff like that. But then that's like maybe 5% of them. Okay? And I'm just going to keep it a buck 100. I'm just going to keep it a buck 100, even though they want you to see differently. Like, oh, we all going to get it. We will never get along. It will never be that way. So we have to be, this is the reality. This is the reality, y'all. Because what happened in Montgomery, Alabama, it ain't going to end there. It's going to be another attack on us. Just don't sleep on it. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's going to be another attack on us. So we got to continue to have this conversation, and we got to keep that unity in us. And that was just a wake-up call for us. Because some of us are sleeping. They were so bold enough, like they were going to just beat this man up and nobody was going to come to his rescue. They could have killed him. The man could have had a heart attack. Anything could have went wrong, as far as for something, that could have been fatal. That was a serious, they just jumped on him and attacked him out of nowhere, and didn't think that nobody was going to come to his rescue, because they feel that we just going to do what we do, be bystanders and stand by and watch them lynch this black man. For real, y'all. Because they already breed it that way, to believe they superior, believe that they should not be held accountable for their actions. And they know how to use us against each other. Flip it on each other. That's why they trying to stay so silent about it, because they planning, they plotting. And they go into every social media right now listening to the conversation we're having about this whole thing, about all of us. And they're going to want to, they even had attacked some people videos of putting up the video of showing the footage of what took place on that day, on that dock, and who was the aggressor. They try to hide that from you so you don't see the truth. And so they could use what they can use against those black people that came to the defense, and they could use against that black captain, of the co-captain, for his actions, to flip this thing on him. They're going to find a way, because that's how they move. And that's why they created social media, to hear our conversations and to threaten our jobs, our livelihood. That's their new way of lynching us. That's their new way of destroying, trying to destroy us. And I'm talking from experience because that's what they used against me when they got rid of me on my job on June the 7th of 2023. And this just recently happened, y'all. So it's real. It's real. Racism is real and alive, and it's not going anywhere. We just got to continue to keep our heads up, stay woke, don't sleep on it. They will put black people in certain positions just so that they can try to keep you in line, just like they do the house niggas and the field niggas. So you don't have to say nothing, or they threaten some members in your family's livelihood that can support you or whatever. This is what the fuck they do. This is what they do. Don't think they're not going through everybody's social media page, through that co-captain social media or family member or whoever, just to find out what they saying and how they felt about the brawl in Alabama on that dock, and try to use it against somebody, and then try to force, threaten him or put him up to apologizing to the public about everything. Because that's what they do. Oh, just so we could keep the racial tension down while they go back and do some more shit. Just stay woke. These motherfuckers ain't letting that shit go. They got their ass kicked. They was embarrassed. They been called out. You think they gon' you think they not gonna try to find a way to retaliate? Do you think they not? They are. Just stay woke, y'all. Don't let the conversation die down. And don't stop giving God your praises and your glory, and giving him the glory for what he showed us in the spirit. I'm not starting to stay asleep on this shit. Stay woke. Stay woke. But anyway, y'all, moving on from that subject, because I'll come back with y'all tomorrow, some other time if I find out anything more. But we already discussed it. I just came to give my point of view. I wasn't able to come back with you yesterday. I was out having a nice day in the sunshine before, work starts again for the fall, whatever. But I'm just saying to you all, I'm dealing with some stuff still with my employment for the summer. The school, I can't work in the school of the state here, but they try to move me to an assignment all the way out in a 35-minute drive, whatever. And I'm just not taking it. I'm just like, yo, y'all got to get me something at another district right here in the state that I live in. I'm not going to another, over to the next city to work there. It's not going to happen. Not with me. Not with, unless you want to pay me for the transportation and everything else, for the gas and whatever, or car services that need to be done. I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous. But anyway, y'all. I'm very unapologetic about this, and this is discussion I'm having right now. I don't know how many of you shout out to Shaq Circle of Gratitude, and we have the conversation as a mature audience. But yesterday we was discussing some things about engagement and relationships or whatever, because basically that's what the compass on Shaq's channel is all about. So I was watching the replay today, and I was like listening, like they were trying to shut me up, but I just had to get it out. Shaq, I'm sorry, but I just had to speak on it and what was going on in my mind at the time, and I did not want to be cut off, so I had to just say it the way I had to say it, so it can get out there. I know people were frustrated with me, got angry with me, but that's okay. I had to ruffle some feathers, because the thing is, in our community, and what black people need to understand, and I can only speak on us, okay, because this is about us. I'm going to say this. What I was saying was that we need to stop promoting and encouraging our young adults, young people, to engage with each other in certain kind of behavior. Okay. Now, I can understand, well, because we are engaged, we are licensed, or we are supposed to and have, sex with our man, even though we do it. But there's consequences. And what I'm trying to say is, through some of the experiences, have sex without marriage, okay, and have children out of wedlock. these kind of moral misconducts. And me going through the experience that I went through as a young adult when I first got married, in the first time I got married to my first husband, one of the things that was modeled in front of my life was marriage. Okay, point blank, period. Even though both my parents could have married somebody else, or they could have been, made some other better choices for themselves when they youth, but through their experiences, I learned through what I saw from my parents, and also what I can do as far as eat the good part of it and spit out the seeds. Okay, the things about life, you have to understand the reason why God says marriage, honors marriage. Even if you two want to engage in certain behavior, woman, you got to protect yourself by any means necessary. But guard and protect your heart. Guard and protect yourself. And this is what I tell young adult women. I said, look, I know you know your body going through changes. You want to explore. You want to do blase blase. But there's consequences. And the thing is that only God forbid you get pregnant. And the woman is always stuck with the bag. And when I talk about the bag, I'm not only just talking about just having the pregnancy, but the baggage. Okay, where he could just move on and be in a life with somebody else and have a whole new life and happily married and everything else, and your child is left out with nothing as a bastard. Okay, you don't want that life to be given to your life. You don't want that life to be given to your child. You don't want to have to deal with the court system where you have to go and find out, take a DNA test if he's the baby daddy or whatever. That's why I said choose pro life and be wise in your choices and make better choices when you want to produce life into this world. Marriage is, to me, the most important thing. You don't have to do a big wedding ceremony down the aisle in your nice, beautiful white gown and all that other stuff. Now, when you're dating and everything and y'all having fun and y'all just dating, y'all need to have that conversation as young people about yourselves and about your bodies and everything. Even if he's trying to convince you, oh, it's going to be okay, I will make sure I be there with you. No, I need a contract. That's what you young women got to start using your head to do. You got to use you more on a mental way of thinking, and the man is he's on a physical way of thinking. You have to use your head first. I need a contract. Marriage or no. No, you're not going to be there. What is your future goals with my life with you? You know what I'm saying? If I do have to end up with this child, I don't want to have to bear the burden alone. And it's not shouldn't be your parents' responsibility to help you raise your child. You should raise your own family. A man should leave his father's house and go and take care of his own life with his own family. And there's a reason why God says that. And I'm saying that a young man, if you're going to engage in sexual activities with the young lady without protection on, and she's going to not, she could slip up, get pregnant, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want, what you going to do when you reproduce this new life of y'all to make sure that child life is going to be modeled well in front of, you as a good role model, the first role model in his or her life. This became a sporting game now that young girls are just getting pregnant just to get pregnant to be cute, and they showing their belly bump on social media and doing their little dance, and some of them are having babies without a husband, and it's being encouraged too much, and it's being promoted too much, and I'm not, and I just it's gotten out of control. That's why we see the problems we do see in our society, because of this moral behavior, and I just wanted to correct it. And share my wisdom and say to people and everything, don't encourage your young people to go out there and have sex without marriage. Continue to push marriage as the agenda. Don't mess up your daughter's life. Don't encourage them to mess up their lives. Find out more about who they are, what they want out of life, and move towards their goals and their future. But don't try to reproduce something that they're not ready for, because they don't really know what they want when they still teenagers. I didn't know what I want, but I made sure when I got married at 19 as a young woman or whatever, that it was the right thing to do. No engagement, skip the engagement, boo boo. If we're going to live together, it's got to be through marriage, not through an engagement. Let's get engaged and move in together, because guess what? He can move out, leave you, and you stuck with all the baggage. Okay? Coming for him and trying to retaliate for what he did to you and mess your life up, and go crying to your mommy, or going crying to your daddy, or going crying to your grandmother and to your family members, and everybody else get involved with all of this. And this is something that the choice that you made, that you settled for this. So choose wisely. Say, no, I'm not going to have this kind of life with you, living together with you, or whatever, and get set up like that, because that's what is going to trap you into. Because the engagement can, even though marriage will, can, fail. It can, the contract can break. Hey, Frankie, good morning. How are you? Thank you for stopping in this morning, sis. Yes, marriage can fail. Yes, it can. But at least you have that contract to protect you. And especially if you get caught out there with a belly bump, and he sticks a muffin into the oven. So you have to, yeah, you have to be careful about the choices as a young lady, to choose wisely, and don't make yourself a victim. You don't throw away your jewels. I'm about trying to help you out to raise up to be kings and queens. And I'm not saying this to hurt you, or to excuse me, to judge you or anything else like that, but it's the best choice to make. And I'm 100% pro life, and I'm for. Okay, so you starting work. Mhm. And I'm just saying that because it's just been happening so much in society now, and it's out of control. We want to raise kings and queens, not peasants and misfits. Okay? Because the children get caught up in this messiness when people are not planning well for their future, and they're not planning well for their children future. We don't want to continue the generational, typical generational ghetto behavior of a single parent trying to raise a child on her own, or his own, or whatever way it goes. We want it to be done the right way. If you're going to say you want to have an engagement, yeah, your engagement could be a contract. Go into the justice of the peace. That's why you got the courthouse there. Go there, get that contract, that marriage certificate, get your marriage license, get everything you need to get your marriage license, and get that marriage certificate, girl, young lady. For you make any agreement to be living with any man unwedded. Just in case you might get knocked up and pregnant, on the sake of that life that y'all might create together, you cover yourself. Okay, if he's going to be there, because once it goes down that you are his wife and you have a child, you ain't got to go through all the DNA bullshit. Okay, once he's married, he's automatically responsible for that child. Point blank, period. Regardless of how the relationship or the marriage might turn out, he's going to be, and that is in the Lord. And I'm just teaching you something. Okay, and that your child won't be left out here as a bastard, to have to go and get a DNA test and go through all that bullshit for child support, or have a nigga locked up in jail. No, he's the husband, he's the father, and he is responsible for that child. And you as well too. If he abandoned you, he still will have to pay support, child support, and spousal support. Point blank, period. Don't get caught out there with baggage. And don't put that on your child. or your children. Because sometimes they pop quite a few up in there before they leave you. So you as a woman need to protect yourself. Don't let no fool out here tell you nothing differently. Oh, well, it could work out okay. Your mama might give you. That ain't your mother and father's job to raise your children. Your job is your job to secure you, to be the parent. Now they can help assist you with things like, hey, you need a babysitter, or they go visit their grandparents for the summer, whatever, things like that. Okay, cool. But to actually put them in a financial strain on your parents to support you and your children, unless something else go differently, like say for instance the loss of a spouse or loss of income like that, or he's not, he's sickly and can't work and he's helping out with the family, helping you with your family want to help you out in your situation. That's one thing. But when you stuck up there and you laid your ass up there and had them babies by a nigga and not married to him, then that's on you. And I'm not feeling sorry for no dumb, especially once I bring this message to out here to the world. And through my age right now, at 56 years old, I'm closer to 60 than I am to being 50 or 25, whatever. I'm just saying through wisdom. Don't put yourself in a bad situation like that. Don't care how this conversation what people have on their social media telling you it's okay. And I know one lady got upset with me. Oh, well, what the fuck I gotta turn? No, you ain't gotta turn. No, you made your bed, you lay in it. I ain't got nothing to say to you. You're a grown ass woman. You made the choices you made, and you good with that. But I'm saying this for somebody. I'm sending this message to some other young woman out there who's still trying to figure out life, who's still on her path and dealing with relationships and with dudes and men and anything else like that. A young girl to save out there. I'm not saying this to nobody that already made their bed and they laying in it and they made the choices they made and they okay with it. This is for somebody who don't know right now. This message ain't for everybody. And a lot of people going to get caught up in their feelings about it because people been doing it so long till they think it's okay. And this is something different. Don't lay up and live with no man if he's not your husband. And if you ain't got a contract, secure your bag. Secure the bag. He want to mess your life up? No, he ain't going to mess your life up. He could go and do what the hell he want to do as long as you going to make sure you get your first cut. Because he could go on and be successful and go marry somebody else and never marry to you. And you and your child be left out with nothing. It happens each and every day. And I'm just trying to help somebody's daughter out there, somebody's son out there. I saw a lot of videos going on about these men killing off their baby mamas. And even though it happened in marriages too, but at least put it this way. When you do it the right way, in the way God say do it, you covered and you protected under the covenant. You protected under the covenant. You understand what I'm saying? The blood of Jesus. Because you do it the right, you make the right choices for the life that you bring in the world. You do that. You model the right life for your children and for your children's children. That's what it's all about. Raise up a child on the right way he or she should go, and when they get old, it won't depart from them. And what God's word say is truth. Don't let nobody sit up here and influence you or encourage you as a young lady or any young man that put a young lady in that situation. Get yourself together. You see somebody you find good enough in your eyesight, young man out there. If you find somebody good enough and you feel she could be a wife, then marry her. And I'm not saying you could start a family right away, but at least work on your goals together for those 5 years. And you don't have to take her to have her at the church wedding. You could put her in y'all could do your first step is an engagement to y'all making the big shebang marriage when you want to have the fancy wedding with the wedding gowns and the bridesmaids and all that other good stuff. And the families meeting and greeting each other and y'all gather together and have your family rehearsal dinners and all that other stuff like that. You could do that when you do the big shebang. But in the first wedding part of your engagement should be the first step y'all want to make. Yeah. Go down to the courthouse. and get your marriage license, your marriage certificate. And then y'all could probably build your life together, start off from humble beginnings, and then work for the big shebang. The big house, the big everything else that comes along. Y'all got your careers, y'all got your education, y'all can work together in building your life together. Your careers, whatever, your career goals, whatever, before y'all go for the big shebang to have the children and everything. God forbid, make sure she get her career. Make sure she do get an education. Make sure she do get an education. And in the meanwhile, while she getting her education, you getting yours too, and y'all both working towards y'all goals to build a life together and have children and secure your family. As a man, you could lead and be the king of your household and over your rulership over your own home. And y'all both can work together as a team. People are messy today. People get in the wrong perception on life. And I'm here to share wisdom with you. I'm taking this seriously. You don't want your kids to be caught out there as bastards and peasants and turn out to find love in another different kind of way. Your young daughters getting pimped out on the streets to, whoever, looking for daddies. You know what I'm talking about? Being out there on them streets, turning up tricks. Okay? And you don't want your sons to be turned out to be some man out there just being a community penis. And that brings a whole lot of other bad things. I'm just having this serious conversation. I brought this conversation to your attention today because I was on a live last night with Shaq. Shout out to Shaq, Circle of Gratitude. Nothing against Shaq, but that's what the point I was trying to make, and I just was not trying to get cut off. I didn't want to hear what anybody else had to say because it's been going on in front of us too long. It's been going on too long in our history, and it comes to a point where y'all need to hear something different. That's why I joined the panel. I said what I said. I got out of there, and I didn't want to hear to say no more. And I just took it right here to my platform. No, it's not even about me. It's about my work that Jesus, and I also brought up the part about Jesus's birth. Whether you know it or not, Mary and Joseph got married. They consecrated their marriage. He took her as a wife, her and her unborn child. And when Jesus became a certain age and he had an understanding of things, or after a while, Joseph disappeared. But Jesus knew how to carry on and do what he needed to do to take care of his mother, himself, and his family as the oldest firstborn son and take over the family business as a carpenter. Because that's what Joseph was. Joseph's family ran a business. We don't understand Joseph was an older man. We understand he could have died from sickness or whatever, or he got too old to really get around and do anything anymore, so Jesus had to lead the family. It is what it is. It's in the book of life, and those are the things that God teaches us how to live in our life, and the good things we should give to our children. Because people out here have been saying, well, my mother was a da-da-da-da, and a single parent of this, and a da, and they promote the single parent lifestyle. And I ain't going to even get into the LGBTQ thing. That's not my community of people. I don't celebrate that life either, but I'm just saying. But when I'm dealing with the heterosexual people and the man and a life between a man and a woman, I got to speak on these things, especially knowing that I'm a Christian. It should always be marriage first, no other thing, no living together. We gonna live together, base this, that, and the other. Now, after my marriage failed and I had to go out and find myself again, and I came across some knuckleheads, I left one boyfriend just so I could get that experience, so I know what I'm talking about here. One boyfriend. He moved in with me, in my place with me. And you wouldn't believe how disrespectful he was. And I deserved that because I allowed that to be me. Thank God I didn't get knocked up and get in any pregnancies or anything with him. because he already had quite a few other children from another relationship. And my family won't. They's like, that ain't no, my family was like, not for it at all. But they understood I was going through something at the time because I never really experienced living with a man without marriage first. Because from the time me and my husband hooked up together, we got married. We got married. We didn't do no engagement. We were married, and that taught me a lesson. I went through the marriage process first in my first marriage. And if I said, if I ever live with a man again or any man being my household with me, it's going to be a contract. I'm not living with no man, even in my old days. I will not do it. Live with a man and he's not my husband. God forbid anything happened to him. I want to get some benefits. Secure the bag. That's all I'm saying. Secure the bag. Don't even live with a man and claim him your husband as, oh, we've been life partners. It's still got to be a contract. Because the family could come and contest everything. I have a friend who's going through that right at this moment. An older friend, she's an older woman. She's my age, a little older than me. And she was living with her boyfriend. He died a couple of months ago. She couldn't even bury him without the family stepping in and the family saying it's okay. The family did everything. She had a policy and everything, and she can't even sign off on that policy or whatever unless the family consents it, that it has to go towards his burial expenses. If she had a policy, the family has to see the policy. Okay, it gets down like that, y'all. I'm just schooling y'all. She cannot do anything with that policy unless the family okays it, and she's going through hell. Because the family also had a policy, but she had a policy, and the family is like, she ain't cashing in on that policy unless they get to see how much that policy was. And she's going through it now in a legal matter. But if it was her husband, she didn't have to go through all of that because she could just do what the hell she want to do. They don't have to know what she got on that policy. The family don't have to know a damn thing. But because they wasn't married and just living together, they didn't have no kids together and none of that. And he had kids from a previous relationship, from his marriage or relationship or whatever. But she didn't have any kids with him. Okay, so it gets down like that, y'all. She wasn't his wife. She was just his girlfriend, and a long-term girlfriend. And it just went down the way it went down. Yeah. So anyway, y'all, that was my conversation for today. The Alabama brawl. Yes, racism exists. It's always going to exist. It's never going to exist. No white person is your true 100%. When it comes to the difference of when it comes to stuff like this, it's about us. Point blank, period. Just like it's about them. Okay, some of them might straddle the fence. They might come out and say, "Oh, I like black people," blah blah blah. But to see the way the white black people stuck together that day, they not feeling us right now. It's not a genuine type of love for us right now. Okay, so stay woke. Don't sleep on it. They're going to try to retaliate, or they're going to try to make sure they bring some charges, especially against the black man who picked the chair up and knocked the shit out of some people with it. And especially for hitting that white woman with the chair. You think the white people going to let that go by? That's why we got to hold on to our unity in the community and stay woke, because they not. They're not. Okay? Because they want to continue to stay in control. That's what they do. And those of us who are going to come out here and speak the truth, they're going to try to silence us. Because that's what they do too. Because the devil don't like to be exposed. When I speak of the devil, I'm speaking of the evil, and they hide to do, in their, how they say Satan works. How he tries to keep things in the dark, but eventually he get exposed to the light, and Satan don't like to be exposed. the evil deeds that people do. So that's what they do. They watching every black person's channel right now. They listening to every conversation about the brawl. They going to take your social media. They going to try to cancel you on social media, block your social media videos, or do whatever they can so that the truth won't get out. You know, it is what it is. And for those of you who join my channel on the R. Kelly, on the R. Kelly sector, right now there isn't really any legal anything out right now about R. Kelly. We know that Jennifer John Jean did get an extension on the appeal, um, as far as the briefing of the appeal or whatever. That's supposed to be sometime later on this month. And then is moving on to some later dates or whatever like that. So this appeal is in the process. So we still have a long wait to hear anything back. So we ain't hear nothing right now, but it might be coming, real soon to us. So be patient with it. That's why I haven't been popping on here as much, because there wasn't really much to say about the R. Kelly thing. But I felt like this conversation was necessary, especially towards this that took place in Alabama, to bring my take on it of what happened right now. That's what's currently happening. Racial tension is on the rise, especially with what we're going through right now as far as the economy. The economy is tough out here. Um, Everybody said, "But there's jobs." Yeah, jobs are out here, but jobs ain't paying as good as they should be paying, and the benefits along with the job and everything, and the tension on the job, going to work today with the tension that you have to deal with people, and especially with things like this that just took place with the brawl and everything else like that. So right now, black people, watch your back. If you at any job right now, you got to watch your back. You can't say this. You can't. You stepping on eggshells here. You stepping on, especially if you're working at some high corporate job around a whole lot of them. Okay, the whole world has saw the video. It went viral, and I'm sure other people from all different places of the world saw it. America being exposed with their racism as usual, and they had the whole world hating on us. They sold out. They sold them a white Jesus, the savior of the whole world. Okay, and white people are always so privileged and always looked at so pure and so innocent, and black people are we supposed to be the troublemakers, the evildoers, lazy, don't care about our families, don't care about our children, keep us divided so that they can control us. So just be woke, y'all. Don't go to sleep. Just stay on top of everything that's going on. Um, and as far as like me having this discussion, I just did a spin-off on this discussion from Circle of Gratitude platform, talking about marriage, relationships, and those type of conversations. And I just wanted to just bring to any young person out there, please do not mess up your life. Do not destroy your life. Um, Raise up to be kings and queens. Make wise decisions, wise choices. Be pro-life. Okay, we're not going to continue to create in our community children fatherless and all that other crazy stuff. The baby mama drama stuff. This single parent stuff has to come to an end at some point. Only reason you should be a single parent, if God forbid anything happened to your spouse, and that on that note, you a single parent. But when you had somebody else help create something with you, you're not a single parent. You should both be a team together in a marriage, and you both should be role models for your children, and you both should do the work together as a team to raise up your sons and daughters to be kings and queens. Okay, that's it. The only reason you should be a single parent is when your child father, okay, is physically unable to work, or he's in a state where he can't work mentally or whatever, and you have to do it alone, and you have to hold the household on your own. Other than that, or he's in the grave dead. Other than that, there should be no reason you should just choose to just be a single parent. That's not a wise choice, and not to the life that you plan on bringing into the world. Okay, so anyway, y'all gotta go. Love you all. You stay blessed. and stay safe. Peace.